Ah, yes. 2020 is done and the road ahead for 2021 is starting to look bright. Looks like whoever was playing Jumanji is almost done with the game. Sheesh. Finally. And because Pandora's Box was open last year, most productions had to delay the filming and release of so many movies we were looking forward to watch. Now that we're starting to see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, cinephiles everywhere are excited to see the lineup of films slated for the coming months. As long as things go according to plan, 2021 is going to be the year that the film industry makes a major comeback with so many surefire blockbusters you're gonna want to keep an eye out for. Welcome back to Watch Canon, the authority on all things mind-blowing. Before we start, make sure to smash the like and subscribe buttons and hit the notification bell for more awesome videos. In today's episode, we're doing a quick run-through of 10 films we simply can't wait to see this 2021. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video cause you're not gonna want to miss any of these titles. For this video, we're giving you a sneak peek into 10 films to be released on the first half of this year. Let's do this chronologically based on the release dates that have been announced so far. Starting off with Nomadland at number 10.
Is that true?
No, I'm not homeless. I'm just...
Scheduled for release this coming February 19, Nomadland is directed by the sensational Chloe Zhao, who is a favorite for the Best Director award of this year's Oscars for the outstanding work she has done in this film. Starring Academy Award winner Frances McDormand, Nomadland is a stirring film that follows Fern, a ruthless woman living out of her van after an economic collapse forced her into becoming a modern-day nomad. Like a handful of other films that were put on the shelf last year, Nomadland was sort of made available for viewing. It had an extremely limited digital release in the US last December, and those who were fortunate enough to have seen the devastating film have been raving about what Rotten Tomatoes describes as a poetic character study on the forgotten and downtrodden. Oh, and this isn't the last you'll be seeing of Chloe Zhao. She's also the director of The Eternals, the newest Marvel Comics superhero film, which has assembled one of the most unique ensembles yet in the MCU, with names like Harry Styles, Kit Harington, Richard Madden, Angelina Jolie, and according to recent reports, Stranger Things' Millie Bobby Brown's in its lineup. We're excited to see if this new gang of heroes would measure up to the Avengers. Number 9 on the list is The Many Saints of Newark. Prequels don't always get as much hype as the original, but when we're talking about a prequel to one of the best TV series ever, consider us intrigued. 14 years after The Sopranos ended, creator and writer David Chase decided to gift us with an origin story set in the 60s and 70s, at a time when racial unrest and riots between Italian Americans and black people was the norm in Newark, New Jersey. Fans of the series know that James Gandolfini is irreplaceable as middle-aged Tony. David Chase and director Alan Taylor, the same genius behind the original series, have enlisted James' son, Michael Gandolfini, to play the young Tony in the film. The Many Saints of Newark is scheduled for release in theaters and HBO Max on March 12. Another much anticipated film set for release on the same day is number 8, The Kingsman. This is a prequel movie too. The third movie in the Kingsman film series gives us the backstory of this independent intelligence agency. Much like the previous films, The Kingsman follows two good guys trying to stop history's worst tyrants and criminal masterminds from trying to kill millions of people. Not the most original plot, we know, but fans are hoping that this will be much better than 2017's Kingsman: The Golden Circle, which didn't get as many good views as the first film. The action spy comedy will be directed by Matthew Vaughn and will star Ralph Fiennes and Harris Dickinson. Next up at number 7, No Time to Die. The wait time for this film has been ridiculously long. First there were the injuries and the accidents, then the original director Danny Boyle resigned, and then the pandemic happened. But because this is going to be the fifth and final James Bond film where Daniel Craig will be playing the beloved agent, we're optimistic that it'll be worth the wait. The 25th official Bond film is set for release on April 2, with action film master Cary Joji Fukunaga as director, Oscar winners Christoph Waltz and Rami Malek playing the villains, Lashana Lynch as the first black female 007, a substantial dose of Lee Sedol as Madeleine Swan, plus a Billie Eilish theme song. It looks as if Craig's last Bond film will be his best. At number 6, A Quiet Place Part 2. The second installment to one of the most suspenseful horror films is one that we're hoping to be able to see in the theater. Watching the first one in the movie house was a unique experience. The entire audience just holding its breath, trying their damnedest not to make a sound. Emily Blunt, Millicent Simmons, and Noah Jupe return in this sequel as their family ventures out of their safe zone, only to realize that the noise-sensitive monsters they once defeated aren't the only threats that exist out there. Still written and directed by John Krasinski, A Quiet Place Part 2 is set to hit the theaters on April 23. Another horror film to be released on the same day, at November 5, Last Night in Soho. The spine-tingling movie marks the final screen appearance of the late Diana Rigg, who more recently became known for playing Olena Tyrell, starring Anya Taylor-Joy and Thomasin McKenzie. The slow-burning psychological horror promises to leave audiences feeling unsettled. The trailers don't give away a lot, but we see Mackenzie playing the role of a fashion designer who goes back in time and meets a pop starlet. The rest is a mystery that we can't wait to uncover once it is released on April 23. Making it to the list is Black Widow at number 4.
Enemies. I'm done running from my past.
Yes, the Avengers tragically lost its only female superhero in the OG gang in Avengers Endgame. But luckily for ScarJo, Marvel decided Natasha Romanoff deserved a standalone film. Black Widow takes us back in time, right after the events of Captain America's Civil War, during which she returns home and becomes an outlaw for helping Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes. Johansson will be playing alongside Florence Pugh and David Harbour, under the direction of Kate Shortland. Black Widow releases on May 7. Also coming out this May at number 3, The French Dispatch.
Lieutenant Nescaffier is the great exemplar of the mode of cuisine known as police cooking.
Finally, something for comedy lovers. The French Dispatch is another movie that critics feel is a strong Oscar contender. As expected of any Wes Anderson film, the ensemble's lineup boasts an all-star cast including Tilda Swinton, Adrian Brody, Benicio del Toro, Frances McDormand, Timothée Chalamet, Lea Seydoux, Owen Wilson, Matthew Amalric, Bill Murray, and many others. According to IndieWire, this film is a love letter to journalists set at an outpost of an American newspaper in 20th century Paris and centers on 3 storylines. Moving on to June at number 2, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Like the first 2 films in the popular horror franchise, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It is also inspired by a sensational case from the files of real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who are still to be played by Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. Set for release on June 4, it follows the chilling and controversial case of the first U.S. murder trial where the suspect claims demonic possession caused his crimes. We're down to the last movie on the list, and we have yet another sequel film for you. At number 1, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Yep, Tom Hardy is back and muttering as Eddie Brock and his alien anti-hero bestie, Venom. Michelle Williams is also back as the third wheel in this weird relationship. Yay? Okay, we know about the scathing reviews and the low viewer ratings, but to many critics, that's what was appealing about the first film. The deranged buddy comedy was so awesomely bad that you can't help but enjoy yourself. And looking at the trailer, we don't really see why we should expect the second movie to be any different. Woody Harrelson will also be starring as the primary antagonist, Carnage. So that's a plus. Let There Be Carnage will be in theaters on June 25. Now I know that this lineup of films is already insane as it is, but 2021 is absolutely packed with blockbuster hits, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for the part 2 of this video. In the meantime, which of these 10 films are you dying to watch on the big screen? Tell us about it in the comments section below. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications to get front row seats to watch Canon's mind-blowing videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.